Today's daily read aloud is Coco, Big City Kitty, written by Laura Bunting, illustrated by Nikki Johnston. Once there was a small kitten named Coco. Coco was born on the busiest night at the busiest hospital in the busiest city in the world. She was as white as a marshmallow, except for her velvety brown paws, nose, ears, and tail, which looked like they'd been dipped in chocolate. Marshmallow and chocolate. She is like the perfect cup of hot cocoa, her mother had said, and so they named her Coco. From the moment she was born, Coco knew she loved being a big city kitty. Within minutes, she was surrounded by dozens of other kittens, then hundreds, and on her very first outing, millions. Meow, gurgled Coco. The bright lights made her purr, the bustle made her meow, and the buzz made her whiskers tingle. As Coco grew, so did her love of the city. She took her first steps with an audience of 3,000 cats. She ate her first solids at the city's fanciest restaurant. And she performed her first ballet recital in one of the most famous theatres in the world. Her days were filled with action, excitement, noise, and activity, and nowhere made her happier. See, she has even written a list that says so. Places that make me happiest list. The city, our apartment, my bedroom, in front of the fireplace, Miss Pursilla's dance academy. Yes, Coco was a list writer. She wrote all kinds of lists. Putting things in order always made her feel happier somehow. To-do list, already done list, cities I want to visit list, cool cats I want to meet list, things I want to make list, food I want to try list, books I want to read list, activities I want to do list, skills I want to learn list, pets I would like list, pets I would not like list, things I want to be when I grow up list. Coco lived with her parents, way up on the top floor of the tallest building on Mountington Avenue. Their apartment was very, very, very small, but it was very, very, very beautiful. Coco's bedroom was painted every shade of her favourite colour, pink, pinker, and pinkest. Her toys were displayed like works of art, and her wardrobe hugged a rainbow of the most beautiful tutus. A home so high meant there was no garden, but Coco didn't mind. Who needed a garden when you could see the start and end of every rainbow? Number one on Coco's things that make me smile list. Watch cloud animals dance past the window while eating your breakfast. Twirl like a real-life jewellery box ballerina in the elevator on the long ride to the ground floor. And enjoy the best and most cosy view of the fireworks every New Year's Eve. Plus, no garden meant no bugs. There weren't many things that Coco did not like, but bugs, Coco definitely did not like bugs. See? Things I really, really, really do not like at all list. Number 1, bugs. Number 2, beetles. Number 3, creepy crawlies. Number 4, spiders. Number 5, anything with 6 or more legs. Number 6, pumpkin. After a hive of bees once mistook Coco's floral leotard for a flower patch, she decided that bugs were despicable. All of them. Once, the most incy-wincy spider made Coco scream so wildly the neighbours called the police. Even butterflies gave her the heebie-jeebies. They were just grubs with fancy clothes, if you asked her. Of course, living in such a small space did have some downsides. Well, one downside. Top of Coco's things I love to do at home list was creating. Coco loved making things. She loved drawing, painting, sewing, crafting, knitting, stickering, glittering, gluing, and bejeweling. But there wasn't enough room to store big creations. So Coco just made them smaller. Much, much smaller. So small they could fit into a matchbox. She made itty-bitty books, teeny-tiny cities, itty-bitty dioramas, pipsqueak paintings, and eensy-weensy beds for her eensy-weensy fairies. Every morning, Coco's day started the same way. She woke up, purred at the perfection of her pink room, popped on a tutu, wrote herself a really great list, and then twirled into the kitchen for breakfast. Then she and Mum and Cat planned what adventures they would have in the city that day. Would they sip frothy kitty-chinos on bustling sidewalks, line up in busy snaky queues for rainbow cheese toasties, glow-in-the-dark donuts, or meow-made milkshakes? Go window shopping while wearing matchy mini-me outfits? Stroll through the art gallery admiring the Pablo Picasso's paintings, even though some of his nudes made Coco blush? Or maybe arrange a picnic playdate in the park with her friends? "What shall we do today, Mama?" asked Coco. "Let's go for milkshakes," said Mama Cat. "Daddy's going to come too. Special treat." "Perfect," purred Coco. Then Coco did as she always did upon leaving the apartment. First, she twirled in the elevator. Then she curtsied for Fred the doorman. And then she happily twirled and leapt and danced down the sidewalk, past Papa Joe's, their favourite Friday night takeout, past Mr. Meowbert's corner shop, where they bought their milk and magazines, past the famous florist with its floor-to-ceiling arches of perfect pink roses, number one on Coco's favourite flowers list, until, finally, they reached the milkshake bar. "Coco, we have some news," said Mama Cat. "It's exciting news," said Daddy Cat. But Coco knew that when her parents were too excited, it was usually because they were trying to make something seem exciting. That really wasn't very exciting at all, like pumpkin and dentist's appointments. Coco slurped her milkshake mindlessly and then paused. Her whiskers twitched, sensing something big was about to happen. "We're moving," her parents said together. "What? Where?" asked Coco. "To a house, a beautiful big house." "But where?" asked Coco more urgently this time. "Tabby Valley, in the country," her parents exclaimed together. "The country? So, not the city? But why?" asked Coco, trying not to sound as panicky as she felt. "I have a new job," said Daddy Cat. "It'll be great. You'll finally have room to run around and play and explore," said Mama Cat. "But I don't want to have room to run and play and explore. I already do that here in the city. I love it here. I love our home. I don't want to go." "I know change can seem scary, Coco," said Daddy Cat. "But remember, if nothing ever changed, there would be no butterflies." And that's when it hit Coco. Bugs. The countryside would be full of bugs. "But I hate butterflies," she wailed. "And there are going to be lots of butterflies in the country, and bees and grasshoppers and ants and creepy crawlies everywhere." "Oh, my sweet marshmallow, it will be okay," soothed Mama Cat. "More than okay. You'll see." But Coco was quite certain it wouldn't be. It didn't seem like she had a choice, though. But the city, her favourite place in the world, how would she ever say goodbye? 2 weeks later, Coco's beautiful room was still as perfectly pink as ever, but everything else was gone. Her toys, her tutus, her tiny creations were all now in big brown boxes in the back of a big moving truck. Coco stepped into the elevator and did her final ever twirl to the ground floor. She curtsied to Fred, who tipped his hat sadly. "I'll miss you, Coco," he said. Then she looked up and waved goodbye to her beloved home. A cloud, in the shape of a cat, looked as though it was kissing their apartment building. As they drove out of the city, Coco looked back and felt a pang in her chest, like someone was pulling her heart with a rubber band. Her head filled with questions, like a sea of swirling sardines. What if I don't like it in the country? What if there's nothing to do? What if my bedroom isn't pink? What if I can't make new friends? What if there are bugs everywhere? What if they come into my bedroom? What if there are no shops or art galleries or dance academies? What if my whiskers never tingle again? Just as she felt tears welling in her eyes, she turned around and looked out the car window. And there in front of them was the most beautiful rainbow she had ever seen. So big, so bright, so beautiful, it made her whole family gasp. It stayed the entire journey. As they turned into their new street, Coco gasped again. The rainbow, the most beautiful rainbow she had ever seen, ended right in the front garden of their new house. Maybe, just maybe, things would be okay after all, thought Coco. Just as long as there were no bugs. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button. We have a new story every day, so make sure you subscribe. The end.